to roar. I'm coming for the belt, man, I'm coming for more. The struggle's real, but the hustle's heavy. This ain't a game, it's a fight for the ready. We fight through the noise, breaking down walls. Every time we fall, we rise, stand tall. They talking, they hating, but we keep moving. Ain't no stopping the crowd, we choose it. Through the blood, through the pain, we living for the glory. Through the hurt and the shame, we fight through the noise, can't hear a thing. We making our moves, we own everything. Wrestling through pain, breaking all chains. This is our world, and we taking the reins. Rise up from the ashes, rise from the dirt, from the first bell ring to the final hurt. We fight through the noise, we won't be ignored. This is our story, we're taking the floor. Through the ropes, through the crowd, we don't quit. Ain't no fear when you're fighting with grit. Body slam, then we stand, take the blow. A real champ knows when it's time to grow. Tearing up the ring, tear up the doubt.
Hey guys, we are live, and we start today's show again. It's our first official show back since the passing of the great Hulk Hogan, and we got new news tonight about Hogan's passing. I don't even know if you guys saw it. I just got it.
I think I know it. I saw anything new.
But I want to say just, real quick, and I think I hopefully speak for everybody when I say Hulk Hogan, first of all, may he rest in peace, was an absolute giant of this business. We wouldn't be here today doing this podcast without him. You wouldn't be watching it. You wouldn't be watching SummerSlam. The wrestlers who didn't have the class to, in AEW or other places, to say anything about his passing.
They did.
No, a lot of them didn't.
Well, the wrestlers didn't, but Tony Schiavone had a very hard
day. Quite a lot of AEW's wrestlers didn't say shit. Quite a lot of WWE's young wrestlers didn't say shit. And I think to me, when I see Undertaker say something about him, when I see Ric Flair say beautiful things about him, when I see, all the old stars say something about him, and you watch the young stars who are millionaires today because Hulk Hogan existed. And you could not like his wrestling. You could prefer Mitsuhiro Suzuki and Yamahami Sanumu over in fucking Japan that nobody watches but Moose. You could prefer all that shit. But the fact is, you're a millionaire today because Hulk Hogan existed.
Hogan versus Muta 93. Go watch it.
It's a great match. I have seen it. My point is, these people that don't have the balls to say anything, or your MJFs who have, Hogan was this and that, motherfucker, you're making millions of dollars because Hulk Hogan existed, because he paved the way for you. So, you may not like or appreciate Terry Bollea, but Hulk Hogan is a different ballgame. And Hulk Hogan paved it. Ric Flair didn't pave the path to millions of dollars. Okay? Ricky Steamboat, I love him, didn't pave the path to millions of dollars. Hulk Hogan paved the path for these guys to become millionaires. And I think the difference is, and I saw somebody else say it, I'm going to piggyback on it. Val Venus said it. The difference between today's wrestlers and the old school wrestlers is today's wrestlers are fucking terrified of being canceled. And the old wrestlers had balls. They didn't give a fuck. Today's wrestlers are pusswangs. Chelsea Green had to apologize and leave social media because she said something nice about Hulk Hogan, because
which is wrong.
Let's be honest. 98.9% of the internet wrestling community are fucking morons that don't know shit about anything in life. Forget about wrestling, but in life in general. And they want to sound edgy, and they want to sound like, we'll bully Chelsea Green. They're idiots. They're idiots. And so, Hulk Hogan, here's to you. Thank you for everything. We do have new news on it, but Moose, you wanted to say something. Go ahead.
I did. So the lack of outpouring from the current generation, I feel, is due to their
pusswanginess.
No, it's just, we live in an era where if you speak up for somebody who's made a mistake in the past, you're ultimately labeled as a supporter of theirs. And we have a friend who doesn't like Hulk Hogan for certain reasons. But it's not that person that WWE celebrated on Friday and Monday night. That's not the person that Eric Bischoff went on and talked about for 2 hours the other day with Conrad. That's not the person that Jeff Jarrett did a podcast about. That's not the person we've wanted to celebrate for the last few days. Hulk Hogan, for everybody on this screen, means something. I know for Mike, it was the big ring. I know for Carmine, it was the golden era. I know for Joey, it was early 90s. For me, it was mid 90s versus the Dungeon of Doom, and that gets crapped on all the time. But that was my peak fandom.
I hated that era.
I grew up WCW. I grew up NWA. I remember Hogan 90-91. Like watching wrestling with my dad, because we would watch wrestling on the weekends, and it was always we'd watch WWF in the afternoon, WCW on Saturday night, WWF again on Sundays, and then WCW again on Sunday, NWA, I'm sorry, on Sunday nights with Main Event. But for me, like peak fandom was 94, 95. Because that's when I first really got introduced to Hulk Hogan. And just like everyone else has said, people like Mark Henry, Devon, all these other people, if you crap on him because of what he did one time, you need to shut your mouth. Because if it wasn't for Hulk Hogan, the thing I love in this life more than probably I should, we wouldn't have. I wouldn't be the nerd. I wouldn't be the professor. I wouldn't be the Mustadon if it wasn't for Hulk Hogan. I wouldn't be a wrestling fan through osmosis because like I said, I was a WCW, NWA kid growing up on that. But if it wasn't for Hogan, I wouldn't be who I am as a wrestling fan, and honestly, probably as a person, because wrestling defines me. And for the younger generation not to speak out, I get it. It's optics. It's the era that we live in. And if you say something positive about somebody who did a wrongdoing in their past, especially on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it, you're gonna get crucified. You're going to get burned alive by most of those people. And I'm a part of a few group chats on social media. And I actually watched people get kicked out of chat because they could not say one positive thing about Hulk Hogan.
Because they're idiots. When they start, a lot of these people, I like, did you start watching wrestling last week? And I think a lot of them, they're so new to it. They don't understand that Hulk Hogan. They don't understand what he meant to the business. One of my side plates is crooked on one of my Foam to Life belts. I just noticed that. It's bothering me. They don't understand what he meant to this business. But I'll take it a step further. I know Mike is itching to jump in here. Joe's itching to jump in, and I'm going to turn it over to him.
And I'm sorry for pontificating, but...
Same here. But I'm going to tell you something. This is
going to wait on to say what I got to say, because people are not going to be happy.
This is going to go on a little beyond wrestling. But there is a religion today in this world. It's not Christianity. It's not Islam. It's not Judaism. It's not Buddhism. It's a new age religion called victimhood. And people are itching. They're chomping. They want to get online and talk about how somebody has aggrieved them, how somebody has made them a victim, because it scores them social media points. Oh, what a victim I am. Hulk Hogan said a bad thing. Let me tell you something. If every one of you had the worst thing, or even one of the worst things you said be broadcast to the world, record it behind your back, you didn't know, and then be broadcast to the world, you'd all be cooked. Every single person watching this show, every person on this show, every person in this world would be cooked if the worst thing we said was broadcast to the world, recorded behind our backs, and broadcast to the world. Period. We're going to go to Mike, then we're going to go to Joe. Mike, kick it.
So, I am unapologetically a Christian. I don't care if that upsets anybody or not, and I don't mean to upset anybody, but
I didn't hear that. Would you say you're what?
I'm unapologetically a Christian.
Amen.
That's it. And if that bothers people, sorry,
Same.
that's just the way it is. Here's my thing. I know a lot of people, and I'm a flawed Christian. I fully admit that. I'm a human. I make mistakes. I've saw a lot of people who proclaim themselves as Christians, who basically hope Hulk Hogan is burning in hell.
Yeah,
And
horrible.
I'll tell you what, he made a mistake. Nobody's downplaying the fact that he made a horrible, terrible thing he did.
In private.
Yes. No, private, public doesn't matter. He still made a bad mistake. But he asked for forgiveness from the people involved. He asked for forgiveness from public in general. And he asked for forgiveness from Jesus Christ and his Lord and Savior. And you know what? How could... I don't care. I'm going there. How could you say you're a Christian and not want this guy to be forgiven? How could you not only not forgive him yourself? How could you be opposed to the idea that he could be forgiven for this?
I think those two things are mutually exclusive. I don't think you can be a Christian and not want somebody to be forgiven.
Well, I mean, it's annoying to me, and I've seen it a lot of places over this past few days. And
Everybody's better than somebody else.
And we've all made our mistakes. We've all done something that we wish we could take back, no matter what. That was horrible. That maybe other people know about, maybe other people don't. So we've all done it. And for so-called Christians to say that, well, Hulk Hogan doesn't deserve forgiveness for what he did, that really bothers me. And I pray that your heart will soften and you will, realize what you're saying.
And they don't get to make that decision.
You want to be forgiven for what you've done, but you think he should not be forgiven for what he's done. And he paid more of a penance on this earth than a lot of people have. I mean, he got ostracized, he got destroyed, he got removed from everything. I mean, he was basically put in a box and filed away on a shelf for years. So, I'm just telling people, and this may piss some people off, whatever. Look at yourself in the mirror before you say, this guy doesn't deserve forgiveness. This guy shouldn't be forgiven for what he did.
Well, how many of these people say, I saw a black guy do a video the other day on X, and he said, man, he goes, half of these black people out here today that are talking about Hulk Hogan, he goes, talk trash about white people in their own homes every single day. You do it. He's like, and you don't really mean it. You're not a racist person, but you just say some stupid racist shit. And some people do that. Hulk Hogan was 71 years old when he died. He's not from our generation. And so I think a lot of people say stupid racist shit in private or things that would be considered racist doesn't actually make you a racist. I know people don't want to hear that, but it's true. That particular word that Hulk Hogan used, reason I don't believe I've ever used it in my life. I mean, I don't know if I was 4 or 5 years old. Maybe I said it. I don't know. I doubt it. But as a Christian, I won't say, I definitely never said it because to the best of my recollection, I've never said it. But the reason I've never said it is because in my house, and I could just talk about the 4 walls I lived in with my mom, it was considered a horrible word, worse than the F word. And so you just did not say that word. But Hogan was raised, 30 years before me, in the South. It's quite different. Joe Vitanza.
I'm going to talk about Hogan the wrestler. I mean, growing up, I mean, I'm sure everybody was a Hulkamaniac. Everybody. I'll tell you this story. My first ever wrestling event was in 1991. I was 5 years old. I was at a house show. The main event was Ric Flair versus Hulk Hogan. And I never
Where
saw
was it?
Hogan again
Oh,
live. So my first time ever going to a wrestling show was seeing Hulk Hogan live.
where was it?
It was at the Richfield Coliseum where the first couple Survivor Series was held.
What Moose?
I was just going to add to that. My first live wrestling event was Kalamazoo, Michigan. And that was Hogan and, I think, Undertaker.
My first live wrestling event, if it was Steamboat Savage, Meadowlands Arena. Savage was bleeding all over the place. They did a Broadway. Go ahead. But being in the New York, New Jersey area, I saw Hogan live like probably a dozen
Yeah.
times because we were on the A circuit. So go ahead.
But like, like, look at the Hogan wrestler. I remember Bobby the Brain Heenan did this interview and he said a lot of wrestlers that hate on Hogan were mad because they couldn't draw with him. They couldn't draw money with Hogan. Now Hogan, everybody has said, Hogan uses creative control. But let's be honest, Hogan's real smart to the business. If you watch the WrestleMania 9 documentary, ticket sales were slow. When Hogan got added to that card, ticket sales bumped. And, then, he makes that jump to WCW. And everybody thinks like, oh, he knew Sting was going to be the third man. That is completely bogus. Bischoff has said in numerous interviews, he asked Hogan, would you want to turn heel? How would you feel about turning heel? And Hogan, I believe these were the words, someone correct me if I'm wrong. Hogan said, brother, until you walk a mile in my shoes, you will never understand what the red and yellow means. Something like that. And then when they had the invasion of the outsiders, Hall and Nash, Hogan was off filming a movie. But Hogan would get these VHS tapes of Nitro sent to him. And Hogan saw the shift. And that's when he asked Bischoff to come to his trailer, LA, where he was filming this movie. And he asked Bischoff specifically, who's the third man? And Bischoff's like, I'm not telling you. Like, who do you think it should be? He goes, it should be me. Because Hogan saw how much of an impact Hall and Nash was making. And who's more WWF than Hulk Hogan?
Exactly.
I mean, it
made the most sense.
It did. And here's the crazy thing. I never had a Hulkamania shirt, Hulk Hogan shirt growing up.
Me neither, actually.
The only shirt I ever had was the NWO shirt that Mike is wearing. When Hogan turned heel, I bought an NWO shirt.
Me too.
Because I was like, damn. Even though he's a heel, probably the best heel turn ever. And one of the best heels ever, Hollywood Hogan. Like, Hogan transcended the business. Everywhere. You knew. If you didn't know anything about wrestling, you knew what Hulk Hogan was.
And I think it's weird. Here's a guy who's probably the best babyface of all time, arguably also the best heel of all time.
Yeah.
I mean, that's who could do that. He was magic, bro. He was magic.
I mean, Hogan is money. Like, I mean, like, man, like.
And like you said, I think a lot of people were jealous of Hogan. When you're on top, jealousy is a big thing. Go ahead, Moose.
I was just going to say, I listened to Eric Bischoff's tribute to him, and they talked about how Hogan was involved in like the three biggest moments in pro wrestling: WrestleMania 3, The Turn, WrestleMania 18.
Yeah.
If Hogan wasn't there, if Terry Bollea didn't have the vision, let's look at it from a historical standpoint. Mm-hmm. Hogan doesn't leave WWF when Vince Sr. wants him to not do Rocky. Could he have been somebody? Yes, he would have probably been somebody in their organization. Had he not done that pivot and come back, I don't think WrestleMania 3 would have made sense. I think WrestleMania 1 or 2 would have been his pinnacle.
Rocky made him.
Yeah.
That was the ignition.
Yeah. And then if you fast forward to the heel turn in WCW, would it have made such of an impact for him to be the third man, given his past at that point? And then you fast forward to WrestleMania 18, him and The Rock.
Amazing.
In that moment, it wasn't so much Hogan and Rock. It was the fact that the fans realized, oh shit, we're realizing a changing of the guard. We're realizing a turn in what wrestling has been to what it is going to be.
Yeah.
And so had Hogan, Terry Bollea, whatever you want to call him, not had the foresight of what he could have been, are we having this conversation right now?
No.
If Hogan doesn't leave to go and do Rocky 3, doesn't leave the company to go do Rocky 3, we have the continuation of the incredible Hulk Hogan, but I don't think we ever get the immortal Hulk Hogan.
And Hogan, and then he's never a main. He might be a main eventer. Put it this way: if I'll take it to Mike's point, and if you can move a little closer, Mike, it's hard to hear you.
Sorry.
Hogan doesn't do Rocky 3. You may be still. Somebody said it here in the comments. It was Tim Pruitt. Without Hulk Hogan, wrestling would still be two fat, hairy guys body slamming each other in smoke-filled arenas if it still existed at all. Hulk Hogan brought wrestling to the mainstream. I'll take it a step further, Tim. If Hogan doesn't do Rocky 3, it still is two fat, hairy guys body slamming each other in smoke-filled arenas. Hogan would have been on top of that, but it would have still been regional. I think it wouldn't have. I don't know if WWE takes off the way it did. Rocky 3 with Hogan gave it that rub to get Hogan on the Johnny Carson show and all these other places, MTV. Also, I mean, if we're being honest, if MTV doesn't come along when it comes along, which also helped start that ignition, right? So, but I think Rocky 3 played a more pivotal role than people want to think. And with that, I'm going to actually turn that over to Mike. By the way, Sting said something beautiful about Hogan. I just wanted to check. He was one of the AEW guys that did say something very beautiful about Hogan on his X. But I want to turn it over to Mike here because Mike, being obviously a wrestling expert, is also a Rocky expert. So I'll turn it over to you. But Mike, just want your thoughts on what I said there. Is Hulkamania the same? Does it happen the same if Rocky 3 doesn't happen?
No, because then that made him bigger than life. That made him bigger than a professional wrestler. And it became a star. And yeah, I mean, again, that just doesn't happen without Rocky 3. And it's amazing to me that Vince McMahon Sr. didn't have the foresight to see what this could mean.
Didn't see that, yeah.
Yeah, he didn't see it at all. I mean, he basically gave Hogan the choice. You know, either you go down to wherever, because apparently he made a deal that he was going to go to one of the territories. Either go out of territory and not do Rocky 3, or you go to Rocky 3 and you're fired. And basically say, okay, I guess I'm fired then, you know. And it worked out for him. But I always find interesting is that we almost never actually had Hulkamania in the WWF as we were supposed to. Yeah, Joe's going. And for those that don't know the story, from what I had read and heard, so when Hogan came back in late '83, and they did the whole angle where the Iron Sheik beat Bob Backlund and won the championship. Apparently there was a schism there for a little bit, and Vince Sr. was actually thinking about not putting the title on Hogan, and he was thinking of putting it back on Bob Backlund. And Backlund, because apparently Backlund was lobbying to be the champion again. He didn't feel that Hogan should be the champion. He felt he should be the champion again. And Vince Sr. actually apparently
Backlemania.
Yeah, no, I mean he did this to the point where the exact quote that I had read was where, and I guess he used to do this thing. They said where like he used to keep his glasses down at the end of his nose, and he was looking at things. And Hogan said he looked up at him and said, "Well, maybe Bob's got a point, Terry. Maybe we should wait about 6 or 8 months and see how things are before we do this." And Hogan said, "Well, that's not what I agreed to. Thank you for the opportunity, but I got to go make a phone call because I got to go call Vern Gagne and try to get my job back." I just quit. And fortunately, Vince McMahon Jr. stepped in and told his father he wanted Hogan to be the champion. That was it, and he gave in. But we were this close to not even having Hulkamania start, period, in the WWE.
Well, Vince
There
Sr.
would be no Hulkamania without the AWA.
I was gonna say that,
course.
like, if Vern doesn't mess up with that whole situation.
Yeah, Vern was stupid. I'm sorry. He was just fucking stupid.
Well, if not only Vern wanting Hogan's Japan, half of his merch and Japan money, and blah,
short-sighted.
blah,
He
blah,
wasn't
blah,
stupid. He was short-sighted.
Well,
we
Yeah.
wouldn't have had the impetus of Hulkamania in the WWF, because Hulk Hogan was really born in the AWA
Yes.
in his run for the Inmate, or the AWA title as it is at that time, with Nick Bockwinkel. And I think that once they saw the groundswell of support for Hogan in the AWA, and they saw how over he really was, I truly think it was a matter of, oh, we got to get him back. Like, we
Robinson said here,
really just need to bring him back in here and put the rocket on him. If you watch WWE Unreal on Netflix, they wanted to strap a rocket to his ass and push him to the moon. But had he not done that, had he gone in an alternate universe, he doesn't go, he stays, blah 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 blah. But let's say he does go and do Rocky 3, and then does the AWA thing, and then the WWF still surpasses him and says, no, we don't want him. I still think Hulk Hogan is an influential being in the annals of wrestling.
sure, but I'll say to what Robinson says here, credit where it's due. It was a perfect storm of events because you had Stallone and Rocky. You had help me out here, MTV.
Rock and wrestling.
But you also had Vince McMahon Jr. And I'll take it what I'm saying.
Hmm.
Hulkamania doesn't happen without Vince McMahon Jr. either, because Vince McMahon Sr. and Vern Gagne, the reason they both didn't see it, but Vince Jr. did, is because they were old school. They were happy to keep their territories and do smoke-filled rooms and all, and two fat guys' bodies. So they didn't see Vince Jr.'s vision. Hogan and Vince understood each other. Jr. They understood each other. They had the same vision. Hogan was on board with it. That's why it worked. So it was, like Robinson says here, the perfect storm of events.
by the way, you say Vern was short-sighted. Well, don't forget, this is the same guy who confused Midnight Rockers with a rocking chair. So just remember that.
That was bad.
Yeah.
That was bad. Have you ever heard that story, Matanza?
I have not.
Tell them the rocker story real quick, Mike.
So
And then we got to break into SummerSlam. But
yeah, so this comes from Shawn Michaels. So when he was, of course, in the AWA really to start his career, and he said him and Marty Jannetty, when they were both wrestling each other a lot, and he said they had a pretty good chemistry going. And he's like, what, they came up with the idea, they're not really doing anything with me, they're not really doing anything with you. Why don't we see about tagging up? And maybe we could do some with each other, And they went to Vern and they laid out their idea that they wanted to be a tag team. And they said they even came up with the idea of a name. They wanted to call themselves the Midnight Rockers without actually directly saying it. Implied, of course, they were taking from the Midnight Express and the Rock and Roll Express and just combined them. And they said they even had the idea of the Rockin' After Midnight song by Judas Priest as their theme song and all this stuff. And he said, so they laid it all out, and he said, Vern's sitting there in his chair, and he says to him, well, don't you think this will confuse people? And he said, well, no, Sean said, no, not really. You know, again, you know, we're taking elements of these things, but we're something brand new and stuff. He said, no, don't you think the name will confuse people with rocking chairs? And he said they're sitting there and they're like, okay, we're waiting for the rib, you know, we're waiting for the laugh or whatever. Never came. He was actually dead serious. He thought people would somehow get confused. The name would make them confused and make them think of rocking chair. Just, if that doesn't say it all, I don't know what does. At that point, really. Yeah, that's an infamous story.
We just say Vince McMahon needed Hulk Hogan, and Hulk Hogan needed Vince McMahon at that time, and it was a match made in heaven.
Yeah, it was everything was perfect for that. But Hogan did his part, and we owe him as wrestling fans. We'll always owe him. And so to Hulk Hogan, we love you, and God bless you. And I pray and I believe with all my heart that you are in heaven in the loving arms of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
Isn't it fitting?
And by the way, just a little breaking news here. There was an earthquake off the coast of Kamchatka Peninsula in Japan, and tsunami warnings have been issued. So I don't know if we have any Japanese viewers. I doubt it, but or if you have any family or friends there, tsunami warnings have been issued there. So
I was just gonna say, isn't it weird or fitting that Hulk Hogan was the last WWF champion?
Yep.
Yes.
You couldn't write that any better. I mean, that's just the way that worked out. It's the timing. Carmen, you had mentioned that you had some breaking news about the Hogan situation that you were.
Oh, yeah. You know what? I actually forgot to talk about that. So I do have some breaking news. I'll put it up here on the screen. On Friday, wrestling journalist Dave Meltzer reported, and I didn't hear this, because of complications from his surgery, Hogan was at home getting treated for kidney failure, probably dialysis, fluid overload, and COPD. Meltzer said Hulk even had to be intubated, and basically they made a hospital for him at home because there was nothing left that they could do. So they apparently knew he was dying at that point. So just incredibly sad. I mean,
in that report, like I respect Dave Meltzer. I've met him. I've talked to him. That makes Bubba the Love Sponge reports the last time we were on air seem more credible.
Much more credible.
And you know what? I go back to, like, was it a day or two before he died? Jimmy Hart. Oh yeah, he was out with Nick doing karaoke and stuff, and he's okay, really, you know.
But Jimmy's a worker, and Jimmy kept kayfabe.
And Jimmy Hart is somebody who will always support his guys.
He loved them. And that was his best friend.
And be there to make sure that they are in the best light.
And my friend spoke to Jimmy a couple days after, and Jimmy's not doing well, man. He's hurting. Jimmy likened it to traveling with Elvis. He said it's like traveling with Elvis. You're mobbed everywhere you went, And I can believe that. Bubba should go fuck himself. What he did to that man. He took their friendship and pissed on it because he wanted to make money.
Yeah.
So,
anyways, SummerSlam weekend, baby.
So, I
played the old school theme.
I want to start with this. I don't think I've ever been less excited for a wrestling for a major wrestling interview than I am for this crap known as SummerSlam. I care about one match, Cody Rhodes and John Cena, possibly CM and Gunther as well. But the good news is I can actually sleep for most of the event, and then if Mike would be so kind as to wake me up for the main event, we'll be golden.
Well, I'm actually enthused about one thing. I mean, besides watching events, is that they actually have a 6:00 p.m. Eastern start time. So I'm like, holy shit! Wow, it might actually be over before midnight. Wouldn't that be nice?
I look at that whole card and I go, I'm looking at match after going, who gives a shit? 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 Rhodes and Cena. Who gives a shit? 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 CM and Gunther.
It's funny you say that now. So I was watching 1990 Royal Rumble.
My
Okay, and I was
favorite.
watching old, Rumble, like Hogan
Great
matches and stuff, just stuff. And you look at like some of these wrestling cards, and you'll be see like WrestleMania 7, Dino Bravo versus Texas Tornado. And you're probably like, man, it's gonna be freaking awesome. Now you look at a card, you're like, man,
What were they doing there?
just
Yeah.
same vibe.
I'm sure the kids today are very excited about the Chelsea Green versus whoever she's wrestling. I don't know, but I'm sure they're very excited about it. Jey Uso's teaming up with Roman Reigns to take on some people. I'm sure they're very excited. I don't watch today's wrestling, so
I'm
great
most
to actually
excited
check in
to
on it.
see if we get the Cody heel turn.
you will not. They're
That they're
teasing it. You
talking
will not.
Not for a while.
I'll drop a $100 bet. If you're willing to bet, I'll bet $100 at you right now. He doesn't do it.
I'm just
Does
saying.
anybody want to take that bet?
There's been the little subtle hints, he's coming out with the Rock sunglasses. He's coming out with the watch the Rock gave him. I saw a thing where like he wasn't really that friendly to people signing some autographs after the show. He
Yeah, they're
did.
trying to make you believe that. I think, sure.
This SummerSlam is going to be very interesting. Of course, I was at the last one where it was only one night, so.
The most interesting part about this SummerSlam is going to be, can I stay awake for the entire thing?
But if you look at both main events for both nights, you have storylines there. Punk and Gunther. Does Punk win it? Does Seth Rollins, is he not really injured and he cashes in on Punk?
That's the only thing that makes that match interesting. Otherwise, that match is a snooze fest too.
I mean, let's be honest. I mean, I liked. Let me put this way. I liked Gunther on NXT, and I liked Gunther. Well, when it was, of course, Walter, and then Gunther on the main roster during his IC title reign. Gunther as world champion to me has been a snooze fest.
You know what?
It's just snooze fest.
Considering what we're talking about this show with Hulk Hogan, the great Hulk Hogan, Gunther is the anti-Hogan. Watching Gunther is like watching. Gunther is the guy that would challenge Hogan but never beat him. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like watching paint dry, man. I've seen a few of this guy's matches. I don't get it. I don't get it.
I mean, ratings don't seem to be good when he's champion. Things are down, stuff. So I gotta believe they have to look at Punk and say, "Oh, here's the guy who's gonna, bump us up again." But again, will it just be a short-term thing? In that, like he said, like Joe said, that Seth Rollins cashes in, or will it be a long-term thing? And I think if imagine it, Punk finally wins in, the crowd's nuts and stuff. Of course, burn it down. Here he comes running out doing his thing. Cashes in and stuff, and then you have how many months? Like September, October, November, December, January, February. Like you have like 8 months of Punk chasing Rollins till he finally gets another shot at WrestleMania after winning the Royal Rumble, and then finally gets
That's what I think the long-term story plan is. Possibly, if this is a work with Rollins, Punk wins and Rollins cashes in on him. Punk wins Rumble and he finally gets Rollins at Mania, like how it was supposed to be 2 years ago.
finally gets to be the champion and the standard bearer. Then
I agree, Simpson.
So
I take it a step further. You guys all have this going away. I say, if there's a cash in, Punk beats him.
But you know what, though? That would, again, like just said, this was supposed to have happened for a long time now, this Seth Rollins and CM Punk, like, actual feud. And if he cashes in and Punk beats him, like, right there, in 30 seconds or whatever, right after, then the whole thing is null and void. It's good. Nobody cares then. Nobody cares. Nobody wants to see Punk face Rollins again. Then later on,
It's a
so
2-year
predictable,
story
though, to have to win
build,
the Rumble and then go to WrestleMania. It's so predictable.
but they've been building the story for gonna go on 2 years.
Yeah, but we're going to go into another. When's the last time you were surprised by somebody who won the Royal Rumble? How predictable Royal Rumble
actually,
was.
this past year, I did not expect Jey Uso to win. I really thought it was going to be Cena.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't expect. Yeah, I really thought it was going to be Cena because the rumblings were there that Cena was going to face Cody at WrestleMania at that point already. So there it was, and when Jey won, I was like, oh, whoa, I didn't expect that. Whoa, I thought they'd play up the Jey Uso's the guy who, who comes so close but just can't quite get it thing, and stuff. And when he won, I was like, holy shit, I didn't expect
That was like you with girls in high school.
Yeah, so close. But
I thought Jay had a chance. Like my top 5, like who I thought were gonna win the Rumble was Cena, Roman, Cody, Jay, and Logan Paul.
I would like to see more. Moose, you got to tell me how you do that when you go on break. That little thing you have there.
OBS, baby.
Oh, are you on OBS right now?
Mhm.
OBS works with StreamYard? I didn't realize that.
Yep.
Yeah, I hope that Jay finds his way back to the main event. I think that I don't see why it was such a short title reign, except because of the Goldberg thing. But then to keep him out of it, and then if you do what you guys are talking about with Rollins and CM head into WrestleMania, where does Jay fit into all this? I mean, Jay's 40 years old.
I don't think he fits anywhere. The rumors are they're going to put him and Jimmy back together as the Usos for the tag division.
I think that's not right. I think that I don't know, man.
He's the new Kofi Kingston. They gave him the title for a little bit of time. Said, "There you go. There's your thing. Now you're going back to the tag teams."
But I think me and you were wrong, Mike. Right? We were wrong because we thought, nah, this guy's not Kofi. He's not Bryan Danielson. This guy's going to stick. But I think he should have.
We did think that we were wrong, apparently.
But I think we were right in that he should have.
Well,
I think this all leads to a bloodline reunion for War Games.
Jay had more support than Kofi Kingston. He had more support.
That's the
than
thing.
Bryan.
Like when people said he's on a Kofi run, no, because we were talking about this. Jay has been over for the past 4 years when Roman in the bloodline, when Jay was the right-hand man. Kofi only got that because Mustafa Ali got injured.
Correct.
Kofi took his spot in the Elimination Chamber, and Kofi was the last one with Daniel Bryan, so everybody was chanting for Kofi. Kofi only had a 2-month run where Jay was over for the past 4 years.
Correct. Yeah, Goldberg fucked it up. Jay should have absolutely held that belt longer.
I don't understand why you couldn't have Goldberg versus Gunther without the title. Why did it have to be the title?
Yeah.
And then if Goldberg was going to lose anyway, you know what I mean? None of it makes any sense to me. Maybe they're seeing something I don't, but Jey Uso is one of the top merchandise movers in that company. You're going to stick him back in a tag team. You're going to put him back in a supporting role. For CM Punk, who, God bless him, he's over, but he's old.
You know what you could have done? You could have did this. You could have had Jay as champion going into SummerSlam. Maybe face Gunther again, beat Gunther, and then Rollins cash in on him.
Yeah, that would have been fine.
You could have give Jay like a 6-month run, 4 or 5 month run.
I think he's got to find his way back to the main event at some point because the guy is over. Again, who were the top merchandise movers in WWE? And I don't know. But I got to assume. I know Jay is a big merch mover.
He was definitely top 5. I think, of course, it's Cody, Cena, Punk. I would say Roman and probably Jay would be my guess for the top 5.
So, I mean, is anybody out there buying Seth Rollins stuff?
Nope.
I think Seth Rollins' story is kind of. He's like the Bailey of the men's division. I think people are just had a hell of a run, but I think it's over. And I love Bailey. Guys know I love Bailey. But, I think it's over.
Bailey is like Bailey's respected in that locker room as a leader,
Oh God, yeah,
especially with the women.
yeah, sure.
I'm going to compare Bailey to this wrestler because of longevity and the respect. I was thinking, like, man, she's like a Mr. Perfect. Like, for the women's, like, she's reliable. She's
Yeah.
respected.
If you need a good match, you know, and
Yes.
you know who to throw it.
Yeah. Like, I'll tell you this, I was at SmackDown last Friday. They had a Jey Uso shirt there. They didn't have no Seth Rollins. Jey isn't even on SmackDown. But they had a Jey shirt.
When I went to a SmackDown show last year, and one of the dark matches, ironically enough, and again, he's not on SmackDown. Jey Uso versus Gunther. Neither one of them are on SmackDown. But it was a dark match. You know, they had. You know.
They had 2 dark matches after SmackDown. First one was Bayley versus Lyra Valkyria. And the second one was AJ Styles versus Gunther in a street fight.
Interesting. I just,
Jey Uso just got added for photo and autograph opportunities.
yeah, Carmine's waiting for. He wants Cody real bad. He's looking every hour and hour for Cody.
Well, they just made me wait in line to get in here, and Rhodes is still not here.
Here, that's interesting that it doesn't look like he's doing anything this weekend. Like, you know, Cena isn't either, though, for that matter. But
It's weird.
It's going to be interesting with this SummerSlam, like what happens in those 2 main events.
I honestly think they pulled Cody from their expo, just because.
That's not a reason.
Just because they couldn't count on him. He like it was just revealed that he was supposed to read for Happy Gilmore too. He was supposed to do all this other stuff, and I 1 sec.
I just really need him on this damn belt.
yeah,
I
who
just
would
really
have
need
thought?
him. So I might have to catch him on a private signing or something, but I don't need. I mean, need is a strong word, but
Rhea is without a doubt the top woman in WWE at this moment. It's interesting to see that, like,
she was the first one sold out.
yeah, it's interesting to see people like Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss and even Bayley to a certain degree and stuff like that. It's not that they're still not the top, but they're not at the top. It's Rhea, 100%. She's the face of the women's division in WWE, and everybody else kind of, you know, is lower.
She's got the what's the word I'm looking for? She's got the charisma. She's got that connection with the audience that I think the other ones just don't quite have. I think Bayley had it. I think Becky had it. You know,
Yeah.
and I just think that Ripley's the hot hand right now, and it'll be somebody else in the future. It's not like the men's division where somebody stays on top a long time. I think that the women's division works differently.
Well, Rhea doesn't look like every other woman on that roster,
which is a
like,
big plus.
She has changed her. I mean, if you look at her look when she first arrived in NXT to now,
much nicer,
way different. She had long blonde hair. Like,
I like her. I like the dark hair, but man, I mean, she is covered head to toe in tattoos.
Yeah,
head to toe. That's
like
to me.
She was over in NXT. She was over in NXT.
Yeah.
To me, that's not very feminine. Not really my thing.
I have a question. How long do you think it's going to take before they turn Dominic Mysterio face?
I can't believe they haven't.
He is fucking over now. Like, people are just going nuts for him.
He is such a great heel and a prick at the same time. Like, it's great, like, especially when he gets the calls about the prank calls and he's like messing with them. But like, he was during an interview, I think it was with Busted Open with Bully, Dave, and Mark Henry. And they were asking Dominic about something. Dominic's in full-blown heel mode. Like, not breaking kayfabe or nothing. And Bully Ray's like, oh, I effing love this kid. Like, because he's just staying in character. Like, Dom is over.
I didn't hear about the prank calls. What prank calls?
I'll send it to you, but it's hilarious.
Who was pranking them?
I think it was Selena Vega.
On TV?
No.
No, he's good. I can't believe it. When he first started, I was like, no, this is nepotism. This is stupid. But nah, this guy, he's good. Forget about everything else. He connects with the crowd, and you can't teach that, and you can't really buy that. You just either got that or you don't have that.
I mean,
you could say Rey Mysterio all day long, but a lot of guys were the kids of famous wrestlers that couldn't do that.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at when he first came in, he was getting booed. I mean, but man, he changed the look. I believe he will become face, but the crowd's probably going to turn him face. But
They will. And the thing that changed it for him, in my opinion, was when he did that jail gimmick. Yeah.
Oh yeah. When he was, I spent I spent 25 minutes in jail. I'm a hardened criminal and stuff. Now I've done time. Yeah, the jailbird Dom and all that stuff. Yeah.
I think that changed it, man. That people loved that.
But even
He's
the
got
interaction
personality, man.
But with like Michael Cole and him on Raw, like Michael Cole will just jab at him. If you talk to Liv, how's her surgery? How's her rehab?
Well,
who's he dating now?
Dominic Mysterio's married.
No. The character.
Oh, well, I mean, Roxanne Perez.
So he's still technically with Liv Morgan, but Roxanne Perez is making the overtures now.
Why is he the stud of WWE? Somebody explain that to me.
Well, that's part of the thing that gets him over. That pisses people off. They're like, first freaking Rhea Ripley, then Liv Morgan, now Roxanne Perez. What the fuck is going on here? Yeah. Like freaking out.
It's those chicken tenders, man.
Because what's the deal with the chicken tenders? What's the deal with that?
It was just a joke. Well, not a joke, but I guess apparently at some point he said, he likes chicken tenders, and then they ran with it. It became a thing.
Well, Damian Priest has said that Dominic Mysterio is the most pickiest eater, and that he only eats chicken tenders.
Confirmed.
And that's the prank call with Selena Vega. When I was telling you about Selena Vega prank calls him, and she mentions chicken tenders, it's hilarious.
You got to send it to me. I have a niece that basically will only eat chicken tenders. It's like the same thing.
But I tell everybody, go back and watch that match at this past WrestleMania, that 4-way match for the Intercontinental title. When he hit that frog splash and he won, that crowd erupted. Like it was as big of a pop as anything you're gonna see these days. And I was like, wow, this guy's okay. He's gonna be a face. They're gonna be forced to make him a face.
And he plays into this too, Robinson, because he's got the Eddie mullet, and listen, he's quite a bit taller than his dad.
Oh, and on Father's Day he goes to visit Eddie's grave. Like he just plays.
Plays good. And Eddie, I think a lot of people would think it's disrespectful. I think Eddie would love it.
Oh, Eddie would.
He would, yeah. Remember, he was the original. Remember the custody of Dominic on a ladder match.
I'm your puppy.
Yeah. What was so hilarious about that?
Him and Ray were best friends.
The vignette at the park.
Yeah. What was so hilarious that was when I looked at him like, okay, you obviously know that he is truly Rey Mysterio's son because he looks just like a little mini Rey Mysterio without the mask and stuff. But it was such a great angle. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no, but and I think Eddie would love this, and that, I think a big part of it for the Mysterios is to keep Eddie's name alive, right? Because I mean that was Ray loved him like a brother, and Dominic loved him, and the family loved him, and so is what it is. I think it's nice that they're paying homage.
I don't think there's any question he beats AJ Styles in their Intercontinental title match. Is that Saturday or Sunday? That one, I forget. It's one I forget which day it is.
I think it's Saturdays, but I'm not positive.
I have the list here.
Oh, for real.
What's Saturday or Sunday?
Talk about the
the card. It is it's Sunday.
Oh,
All the championships are on Sunday.
Well, not all of them, because the women's tag title is on Saturday, and Gunther and CM Punk, and actually Tiffany Stratton, Jay Cargill are on Saturday too. So there's 3 on Saturday, and like 6 on Sunday.
yeah, my girl Tiffy time.
So like pretty much the entire card on Sunday is all title matches.
Yeah.
God dang, Logan Paul LJN sold out. Jeez.
It took a while though. That was the longest one. That Hogan. Oh, we were pissed. Karma and I were so pissed last night with the Hogan one. We didn't even have a chance. We didn't even know.
Yeah.
It was up. And by the time we heard about it, there was already long sold out.
Oh, I heard about it this morning from somebody on a text message that we're close to. Is cussing up a storm about Hogan being sold out.
Well, what sucked is that they put 3 of them out one day, and then a couple days later they put the Hogan one out.
Mm.
It was like, well, maybe you should just held off on all of them then, and put them all up at the same time, so people could have been ready for it.
Yeah, because usually pre-orders go up at like 9 or 10. You know, it's just like.
This is a question that Mr. Sabia would have to answer.
What was the question?
Well, read it.
Not even on the wrong tab.
Azam.
Okay. Because I'm sorry to say I couldn't remember.
What?
No, I couldn't remember. I'm sorry. Who made it?
Yeah, no, it was it sold out in 10 minutes, the LJN. Logan Paul finally sold out. The LJNs are going to be a big hit. And listen, here's the bottom line, right? It's not cool. I hate, Mike and I were talking about this today. I hate store exclusives. That being said, I'll get it on eBay, even if it's $100. I'll get it on eBay. It doesn't matter. But I hate store exclusives.
What's annoying is these store exclusive pre-orders now sell out so quick.
You have no idea when they're going to drop.
Yeah.
The Walmart thing with the Superstars line is why I stopped collecting the Superstars line.
Yeah.
It was impossible. And then they would cancel your order. You had it pre-ordered for months, and they get an email they canceled it.
And finding them in store is a total crapshoot. Sometimes you find everything, sometimes you find nothing.
I mean, look at that Hogan LJN, the new one, man.
Well, screw you, Vinny.
Oh, he's got they use baby oil on him.
Yeah.
You can't find them unless they're in Canada.
What?
51st state.
Apparently, in one of our chats, apparently one of our Canadian friends can find all the figures.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they don't do store exclusives in Canada, I don't
Yeah.
think.
They do some, but not like they do here. I mean, a lot of what are exclusives here are just regular
No,
releases.
Target won't cancel. Walmart is famous for canceling the pre-orders.
Should send Goldberg to Canada, man. Just start kicking everybody in the head up there. Gets all these figures.
But yeah, so I was pissed about the LJN Hogan, but I mean, Mike and I were saying today, like, we're gonna get it. It's just
It just
we're gonna
sucks
probably
when I
have to pay
pay
more.
more for it. Or again, will they put more up when it actually comes out? Because don't forget, it's not coming out till October.
probably.
Carmine might like this.
You know what though, and I might, but I'm to a point too where, you know, I was saying to Mike today, I got my collecting days are coming to a close here, especially on the bigger things, because I've literally got no room. I put 15 belts in storage this week.
What belts?
I don't even remember what they were. AWA Inmate. Yeah, was one of them. I know that. I don't know, some other ones. I don't remember what they were, but it was like ones that I'm not really displaying right now, kind of thing.
Okay. I wanted to show this off real quick. I got this in yesterday. Been looking for this for a while. Never found it at the store. It was
SummerSlam 91.
Yep, SummerSlam 91 Ultimate Edition Ultimate Warrior. This was a Target exclusive, so I never found it at mine. Missed it online, and of course had to go to eBay, but I got a pretty good price for it. But
That's
I
a
want,
nice-
look at this Warrior skin tone though. I saw this with the 4-pack, the Champions 4-pack, and now this. Boy, they're really going like super deep tan there.
Yeah,
I mean, you know, he looks like C. Thomas Howell and Soul Man. I mean, I don't know what they're doing here, but it's just
Well, it looks like
really.
looks like the shooter looks like the shooter in New York last night, who CNN said was possibly white.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Yeah.
You know, if you rearrange his last name, it spells trauma.
Huh?
If you rearrange the letters in his last name,
Ooh,
the shooter.
ooh.
The shooter.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
It spells trauma.
Oh, wow. That makes sense. Makes sense, but yeah. So,
I have a whole subject on that.
and of
thing
course,
that-
he believes he has CTE.
That's
Which-
what, like, here's the thing. Everybody thinks
don't-
they have CTE.
You can't. It's not diagnosable while you're alive. I checked today.
No, that's why they have to they have to literally autopsy your brain and cut it open and take a look.
It cannot be diagnosed while you're alive. I don't care what anybody tells you.
And the
It
thing is
cannot.
this: there are conditions that have symptoms similar
mimic,
or
yes.
same as CTE. That doesn't mean you have CTE. You know, you could have something else.
Remember, you know, like, talking about, like, all these sports athletes with CTE. I remember they had the documentary on the 85 Chicago Bears, and Jim McMahon went to a doctor, whatever, head doctor, and they did the scan of his brain. It looked like it was like cloudy, and they had him lay down, and he did like something where like a metal thing was just tapping into his neck or his head, and it cleared it up, like cleared something up, and Jim McMahon's like feeling better. It's in this documentary, but it's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, listen, he might have had CTE. Who knows? Something made this guy crazy. You know.
But but that's what I do not get. Everything that happens, oh, it's CTE. CTE. It's CTE. Like,
Well, it's a new thing. It's a new thing. Benoit killed his family, CTE, and it like, and to people, it just like forgives what they did. You know. It's the new thing.
I'm sure the fact that Benoit was taking 3 months worth of steroids every month had nothing to do with it whatsoever.
Was you falling asleep? I'm gonna ask you every week, Moose. You get my list of toys?
My beard might be getting shaved off, so no.
what?
That'll be
Yeah, new job, clean room.
Yeah.
you should do it on air.
Hey, you stop looking like one of those liberal douchebags that are out there protesting. You know.
My beard is not a liberal statement. My beard is part of me.
No, I know, but they all like all the liberal douchebags have that beard.
What do you say, Yukon Cornelius?
Yes, Yukon. You try to get some gray in there. Look at that. There's a lot of gray in there.
I'm waiting for that catch. Just climb up that winged eagle belt and tear it down.
You're an old
Same
man
here.
now.
Just
Moose.
wait
The rest
catch
of
a
us.
pounce on Mike's back and just maul him to death.
He saw. I had to go off there for a second because he saw something. He thinks he saw something by my window, and there's nothing there. He went freaking cuckoo, like he was knocking
Aw.
it over and everything. So I was like, yeah.
I like Moose beardless. I like beardless Moose. That thing itches me. That would drive me nuts to take care of that.
Oh, and by the way, he has already tried to knock the belts off. Yeah. Yeah.
He's already knocked over your dome globe that's sat behind you, or what's that? Oh, your NWO belt.
Yeah. No, he didn't. No, it's just in there. But he's not.
That might have been the maddest I ever got in Hulk Hogan in his whole career, was spray painting the Chrome Run. And
But how
hate to
much
this
more?
day-
But how much more heel can you get?
No, it was great, but so what I said, it got me to be angry. But to this day, I hate when people do that to their Chrome Runs or to their
Well-
big belts. I hate it.
Well, listen, it's very, very simple. I had this is the FanDuel duel. I had it forever. You know, I replaced it with the Shop Rhine, and I'm like, well, what am I going to do with this? I'm like, well, I could try to sell it and go through that pain in the ass. And I'm like, no, I didn't feel like doing that stuff. I was like, you know what? Hey, I'll just turn it into an NWO version.
Yeah.
And there you go. So now it serves a purpose.
But I wouldn't want to put that on display in my collection. I wouldn't want that to be.
Well, I have it on display, so it's bad. So the hell with you.
I want to like pretty belts, good looking.
Hell with you.
You know what? Fight me. I was figuring out today, by the end of this Cena run, I might have like 12 Cena spinners.
Yeah.
I got the 2 from Saudi Arabia, that are you could get like $3,000 on eBay now. I didn't pay anywhere near that. I paid close to retail, but
Ooh.
If the count is
almost 50
correct,
made it each.
if the count is correct, by the time he's done, by the time this last match comes in December, there will be 33 Cena farewell spinners this year. 33.
That's a lot.
It is.
All right. Well, we are overtime. You wanted the blue one that just came out. You missed out. Yeah, I got both SummerSlam ones, the blue and the green. I was going to get those regardless. I was pissed off that there was two of them, but I was like, because I'm a Giants fan, but not a Jets fan. But I got both anyway.
Well, why did you get the Jets one then? You didn't have to get the Jets one.
Because I know it'd be rare. Well, thank you, Richard. Yeah. So with that, guys, listen. Enjoy SummerSlam. I'm sure most of you will care a lot more about it than I do. And then I guess next week we'll be back here talking about all the things that you guys watched and that I watched highlights of. And maybe if I'm bored, I might watch it. But there could be Everybody Loves Raymond or King of Queens reruns on. So
I love Everybody Loves Raymond.
What happened?
I said I love Everybody Loves Raymond.
And it's on right now. It's on right now on TV Land. So, yeah, no, I love that show. It's one of my favorite all-time shows. And King of Queens is in the same vein. So
Yes.
If you like that, you'll like King of Queens.
The little Italian guy, Domino's.
Who?
Arthur. And he's like,
Oh,
when
yeah.
they're trying to order pizza, he's like, Italian joint down there, Domino's.
Demean.
You mean Domino's? Yeah, that's it.
Demean. Arthur makes that whole show, bro. Arthur, what was the fucking episode I was watching yesterday? Oh, God. He wanted the guy delivering his Indian food to chronicle his wisdom like weekend Tuesdays with Maury. Nobody's chronicled my wisdom.
Or the one where he should have got like money for like the rice or whatever or something.
How about the rice and roll? And then how about when he thinks that he was the inspiration for Peanuts, Charlie Brown? We all had a zigzag shirt. It was the school uniform.
I like when they have a video camera in his like basement in his room and they're all watching on TV because he's mismatching the socks and he
Yes!
dropped a sock and he couldn't find it.
And they're going nuts. Yes.
I disagree with this.
I disagree. I think the WrestleMania one is still super hot and still sells for a lot of money. And the Saudi Arabia ones and the SummerSlam ones are super rare.
The Saudi Arabia ones are only 50 of each. So
Yeah.
that's rare. That's the rarest ones they've done.
They'll be worth money. Absolutely. Yeah. So I disagree. The December one will matter, but they also might make a lot of that one for that reason, and then it might not be worth much. So, and I'll probably get the ones in Australia too, and I wonder how limited those will be. So, all right. With that, again, rest in peace, Hulk Hogan. Hulkamania will live forever. SummerSlam coming at you. I can't believe it's so early this year, which is crazy. It used to be, Mike and I were talking about, it used to be SummerSlam, back to school. But
yeah, the next week then. Yeah, that was like the last hurrah for me and my friends to get together before the summer was up back in the day. Yeah.
So, all right. I got a jet. You guys, anything else you want to say before we go? All right. So with that, Moose, would you like to do the outro?
So I'm the Moose Don Cuckoo Kachu. He is Carmine Sabia, your favorite bald-headed lunatic, with his sidekick, American-made Mikey, the real Charlie Brown of the belt community, because fuck the hobby, Joe Vitanza.
The real inspiration for Charlie Brown.
We are the OGs. And we'll see you next time. Same OG channel, same OG time. I bid you adieu.
We love you guys. God bless you.
Yeah, we ready. This is for the Warriors. Blood on the mat, sweat on my skin. I've been fighting for a win, don't need no gimmick. When the lights go down and the crowd starts to roar, I'm coming for the belt, man, I'm coming for more. The struggle's real, but the hustle's heavy. This ain't a game, it's a fight for the ready. We fight through the noise, breaking down walls. Every time we fall, we rise, stand tall. They talking, they hating, but we keep moving. Ain't no stopping the crowd, we choose it. Through the blood, through the pain, we living for the glory. Through the hurt and the shame, we fight through the noise. Can't hear a thing, we making our moves. We own everything, wrestling through pain, breaking all chains. This is our world, and we taking the reins. Rise up from the ashes, rise from the dirt, from the first bell ring to the final earth. We fight through the noise, we won't be ignored. This is our story, we're taking the floor. Through the ropes, through the climb, we don't quit. Ain't no fear when you're fighting with grit. Body slam, then we stand, take the blow. A real champ knows when it's time to grow. Tearing up the ring, tear up